Hi, my name is David Harley. I'm the 4-H agent in Preston County, and today we're going to look at our camp science experiment. And so we're going to make an air car. And so what an air car is, an engineering design activity. We're going to engage our young people in learning how to create a air car that's going to capture the air from our fan today. Sometimes it would be outside, we catch air from outside, but we're going to use a fan today for that. And we want to maximize that to make sure that we are able to get it to go as far as we can. And so to start off, a couple things that we need our template that you can download for our air card. And then we also need a bendy straw. We need 2 non-bendy straws. If you can't get non-bendy straws, that's okay. We'll talk about how to take care of. Then you need 4 round, hard candies. And so you also need a pair of scissors and a pair of punch hole and plenty of tape. And so to do this, we're going to start off by having the participants cut out the template. And they're just going to cut on the solid line on the template. And so you're going to have basically 3 squares that you're going to be working with. And so we've got our body for a car there. And then the bottom part where the flying WV and the clover are is going to be what we're going to catch our air, or air fin. So we'll set that off to the side because we're going to start with the body of our car. So you see dotted lines on our paper, and so those dotted lines are you're going to actually use for folding. And so we're going to go ahead and fold our first dotted line to make sure that we start to create the body of our car. And then you notice we're going to have another folded line, dotted line that you're going to fold on. Now once you've got that done, you can start to work on putting together your air car. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use 2 straws. And they need to be similar in make. And so it's important that these straws fit nicely onto your round candy. That's the most important thing. If you happen to have bendy straws only, go ahead and cut off the bendy part of your straw, and that will help with that process. Now you're going to open up the top of your car, and you're going to build your axles. And so these straws are going to become your axles. And you can choose as an individual if you want them to be a little shorter or longer. That's the length is up to you. So I'm going to cut a little bit off, and I'm going to put it about a 1/2 inch away from the dotted line. Now, because this is your air car, you can design it however you want. You can put the axles wherever you think is best. That's going to allow for the car to travel the farthest distance. So I'm just taking 2 pieces of tape and attaching them to our template. I'm going to take our other straw, measure it up there and make sure I cut about the same amount off. And I think if you can align it as best you can so it's straight on the paper, that's really important as well. And that's sometimes hard when the straw is moving, but you want to make sure you get one side taped down and make sure you match that side alignment. And that'll make sure it goes straight when you're designing your air car. Now we've got that on, we're going to take a second and we're going to punch a hole here in the center of our air car. And that's going to be for our next straw when we get done. So you're going to fold this over and make sure that we're going to fold that over here, and you're going to just put a piece of tape across there. That will allow us to kind of secure the top part of our air car. Now we're going to put our wheels onto our air car. And these round candies will act as our wheels. We'll just simply put a wheel on. We're going to take a piece of tape and we're going to wrap it around each of the axles to secure it on. It needs about 3 or 4 times around to make sure that it doesn't come off when it is moving. So you can test that by just giving it a little tug, and then it doesn't come off the straw. Then we'll repeat that 4 times to make sure that we've got them all secured onto the axle. So I've got my front done, or maybe your back, depending on how you're designing it. Now, while your car is going, it's important that we pay close attention to how these are aligned. We want to look at the amount of friction, and friction is a force that 2 surfaces rubbing together create, and that'll actually cause the car to slow, your air car to slow by the amount of friction that it's causing. So you want to make sure that these are free from the tape and free from the edge. And so that's really important that you keep that in mind. Now we've got our wheels taken care of. It's time to put our wind catcher. So we're going to use a bendy straw to do that. And so first thing, we're going to get our part that has our clover and flying WV. We're going to use that hole punch again. Where those blue marks are there, you're going to punch those out. And you can pre-punch those if you want to, if you have folks to be able to do that. You're going to take your straw through one side of it, the non-bendy end, and then you're going to take that up to the top. And that's going to be how you're going to catch your air with your straw. Now that we've got that through, we kind of got our sail that we're going to catch our air. We have to attach our sail. And it's good maybe just to put a couple pieces of tape here on the back to make sure your sail doesn't fly off your straw. Now I've taken that hole that I've punched and we're going to put that straw inside of that. Oh, see, I have a problem. I didn't get enough tape on that one. So it's important that we go back and put that wheel on and secure it with a little more tape. All right. Now we want to secure our sail. Now you can create your sail in whatever way. Let's say you don't like this design of the sail. You can create that to be a different size or shape depending on what you think is the best way to catch the most air. I'm going to reach inside of here and I'm going to place some tape on that straw to keep it in one place. And I'm also going to secure it on the outside as well by putting a piece of tape around the outside to make sure it is secured to the top, that we're able to catch as much air as we possibly can. All right, now we've got our air car ready. And so it's good to have a couple maybe fellow campers that you can race with. And so to do that, you need a fan or an outside air source, but a good fan is good to have. And so we're going to take a 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to launch to see how far we can get it to go and what for. And so let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Our air car is successful. And so you notice it started to turn just a little bit. That's okay. You want to see how far you can get it to go. Now this is a really important part. Let's see you give it a try. You try it out in front of your fan and see how well it does. Then look at it, see what you need to change about. Maybe you need to straighten up one of your axles because it's going to an angle. Maybe the fan is blowing your wind catchment down, so it's not keeping it up, it's not catching enough air. So you can adjust those. Those are things you can adjust before your final race. So this is an easy way to do our Camp Science experiment that focuses on catching air and engineering design. And so that's really hopefully have a fun time with this and fun activity.